how are you, dude?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How I was watching your Instagram. You were in the studio. I didn't hit the volume up because I think I was at a place where I couldn't listen. But I saw you singing in studio. You're in like a dark T-shirt. You had some papers in front of you on a music stand. I'm assuming that's for the new record you're recording right now.
Definitely, yeah.
When you go in and you got all these songs, do you feel like, because your first two records have been monsters, do you feel like, hey, we got to beat that? Or is it like, we just got to get to where I am creatively right now? Like, what's the goal with the next project?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, obviously you want to, you want everything to be better than the last thing. So I guess there is a little bit of pressure in that sense, but also just want it to be what I want it to be in a lot of ways. Like I want it to, match the songs that I've written for this thing. So I think it's trying to find a balance of both.
Did you do the thing where, you pretty much have the whole record ready and then you wrote something like the day before and you're like, wow, this one's got to go on the record?
I mean, yeah, I've been known to do that, and I definitely have done that recently, man. But we can't say that because then every writer will trying to be right. We'll trying to get a date like right before I go in. Everyone will be like, oh, well, he just likes it more because it's new. So they'll all be trying to get their days switched to like right the day before I go in the studio.
Are there any songs that will go on the new project that you had and that you didn't put on, the first couple records?
No, there won't be anything that's like leftover stuff. It'll be stuff that I've written. It's all stuff that I've written since those came out, barring the deluxe of the most recent album. There's some stuff that I wrote before the deluxe of the most recent album that I feel like didn't fit that particular thing. But yeah, everything is pretty much new.
Luke Combs is on with us right now. So let's say you write a whole bunch of songs for the first record or the second record and you didn't cut them. Now, do you end up just releasing them into the wild to go, hey, if anyone wants to cut this, I wrote it, you can?
Man, I have, but I haven't had a lot of takers on that, to be honest with you, man. And I feel like I got some stuff that's pretty solid, because I can only put out so many songs. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe people think, and rightfully so, maybe they think like, well, if he's not cutting it, well, then maybe it's not good enough or something, which is not necessarily the case. Sometimes I just have really great songs that don't necessarily fit what I'm trying to do. And I would love for somebody else to do them,
When you cut the demos, will you sing them or do you let another one of the writers sing them so they don't get leaked?
No, I sing. I usually sing them 90% of the time. I just sing. Usually nobody has them but me and the writers. So if they get leaked, I know who to call anyways.
I was watching the Forever After All video and you cry in the video. Did you know beforehand you were going to cry? Because I'm worried about this with me. I'm getting married coming up. Did you know beforehand you were probably going to cry, or was it just like a wave of emotion?
Man, I was honestly I was like, man, what if I don't cry? Like I almost had more anxiety about that. Like I was like, what would that say about me as a guy if I didn't cry? You know what I mean? And not that I tried to, because I was thinking like, man, I was like, man, if I don't cry, then like, is people going to think I'm like, this like cold guy? But yeah, it was really just like a rush of emotion thing. Like it wasn't like, man, I'm definitely going to cry. It just happened. It was like so not unexpected, because I think people kind of expect you to cry in that moment. But it was just like a wave of the second I saw her, it was just a crazy rush of emotion.
Do you write your own vows?
We didn't. We did not, man. We went, I know that was probably surprising, but we didn't, man. We just went with the standard thing.
Let me ask you this, and I'll stop with me taking advice about a wedding. But what's the one thing that you spent money on at the wedding where you're like, I don't think we need to spend that much money on this at the wedding?
I don't know, man. Like I think it was like, I think the thing that the food was just for everyone else, really. Like we didn't really get to eat that much at all, because you're like doing stuff all day, and then you're like, oh, everyone's like, man, the food was so good. And then you kind of realize that you didn't really have much food at all. You had like one bite of one thing. So obviously you need the food for everyone else, so that you can't really take that advice. But that was the one thing that you're like, man, it's so expensive. And I really didn't get to have any of it either. So
on with Luke Combs. Last time I saw you, we were both at the finale of American Idol. I guess we saw each other briefly. You're walking down the hall and You go up and you sing with Chase and you crush it. And my fiance was there and she was like, she had asked this question. She goes, when Luke started out, did he start out as the guy who just wanted to go and represent everybody and wear what he's wearing on stage all the time? Or did he just get successful so quick and he's like, wow, this is already working. Let's just keep at it. Like, was it the plan or was it kind of thrust upon you because it was already working?
No, I think it was the plan. It was always to be kind of just like, man, you wear the same thing. And I don't know, like I've always just kind of enjoyed that. It makes it easy for me, to have to go, well, this is what I'm going to wear tonight. You just change the boots and the hat most of the time. And sometimes you don't even change the hat. You just wear different boots or jeans or something, And so I don't know. I just always like that, man. I like people. I try to make it as less about me as possible. As weird as that sounds, like I want it to be about the songs and the music and the show. And, like I've never wanted to be like a me guy, like, look at me kind of thing. And so I think the outfit is just part of that thing. Like I just want to people to like my music, really. You know what I mean?
I saw Darius on his Instagram, like, hey, I need some Crocs, some Luke Combs Crocs, and he got some. And so I just wonder, in your house, is there just like a closet full of Crocs of all sizes you can just send out to your buddies?
I wish, man, because I get a lot of requests for those things and they're like gone, like people are like, you can get more. Right. And I'm like, no, I can't. It's not anymore to be had, like I don't even wear my pair because I'm worried that they'll get all like dirty and stuff. And then I won't even have a pair left anymore,
Luke Combs on with us. You're playing 2 shows in Orange Beach, Alabama, July 3rd and 4th. These will be your first headlining shows since February of last year. So are you already thinking about what you're going to start the whole show with? Is that a bigger deal now since you haven't had a show in a long time, like a real one?
Yeah. I've had a few conversations about, what's going to be on the screens and what's the set list going to be. Cause I think we have, 3 or 4 like number 1 songs that we've never played for an audience before, which is like, so we've got to kind of retool the set like based around that. Cause obviously those are songs that you can't skip now. And so we've got to figure out, we're getting to the point where there's not many spots in the set for like stuff that we normally don't do, which we like to do that. We like to go, oh, well, here's a song off the first album that we don't play a lot. We'll play that one tonight, so there's less of those spots now. So figuring out what's going to be in those spots is kind of the challenge of that.
Whenever you play a song and it's like the opening riff or the beginning before you sing, which song that you've been able to play live gets the loudest pop from the crowd?
Man, Hurricane's hard to beat just because of that SIG riff, like on the top of it is like so big and like recognizable. And it was my first single, but I know there's not even an intro to, When It Rains, It Pours is up there. Like it just comes in as like cold vocal before the music even starts. And that one gets, people get pretty wild about that one too, but I guess we'll see, man. I guess maybe things have changed in the last 16 months. I don't know.
You got 10 consecutive number 1s. How meticulous is the single picking process now?
I think it's just kind of an instinct thing, really. It's like, you have this stuff, you go in and record it and you think, well, man, 90% of the time, I feel like we have a pretty good grip of what people are going to love. And then, there is that 10% of the time where I get really surprised. I'm like, man, I really thought they were going to love this song and they didn't, or I didn't think they would love this song as much and they do. So you also have to be willing to listen to the fans because they're the ones that at the end of the day, really, they're the ones that really pick what the single is based off of, what they like the most and what they're most engaged with. And, we try to, get songs on the radio that we think people want to hear on there.
Before we play the single that's about to be number 1, I'm going to ask you one final question about, the next bit of new music. Like, when do we get to hear something more than just on Instagram? Like, give me a nugget here.
Yeah, man. We're I'm going into the studio one more time and we should be done, by then. I think, we're going in this month. I guess it's June now. And so we're going in this month to do some more stuff. And, once we get all those sorted, I don't know. I'm like fall, probably, I would hope. I guess it all just depends on, obviously there's some strategy involved in that release date, but I think it's probably fall, I would hope.
So are you saying there'll be another single from this, or are you done until the new record after this one?
I think there's probably gonna have to be.
Okay. You want to say what that is or no?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I hadn't got that far.
All right. I think you have, but that's okay. You can let the information. Just remember, eventually it's all going to come back and I'm going to have to do it. Yeah, that's all right. Luke Combs, here he is. Let's play it now. This is Forever After All. It's going to be number 1 this week. Luke, good to talk to you, bud. Congratulations and see you soon.
Thanks, buddy.